HBCU Overdrive is proudly sponsored by WeWorkForEverything.org. At WeWorkForEverything.org, this is for those who are trying to build for a dream with their latest hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and accessories and more. You can have it all here at a reasonable price. Black owned and operated out of the great state of New York. Like I said, get suited and booted. Check it out at WeWorkForEverything.org. Peace. What's going on? What is going on? What is going on? What's going on? What is up? What is up? What is up? What's going? What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Make sure y'all can hear me. If I ain't got no reverb in my microphone, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. You got 14 in the crowd. Make sure we get 14 likes. Sorry about the technical difficulties as always. But welcome again back to HBCU Overdrive Weekend Recap Live. Make sure that you like the stream. Make sure that you comment, share, and most of all subscribe. And also hit that notification bell to get everything HBCU Overdrive. You already know how we do this thing right here. We do it like church because, for one, today is Sunday. And then two, you got to bring out the announcements. You got to bring the announcements out. Always make sure you want to become a subscriber on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Also, if you want to follow me on all social media outlets, main ones is Instagram and Twitter. You can hit me up at HBCU_overdrive. And also you can hit me up on on Facebook at David E. Smith Douglas. That is my actual real name. So you can hit me up on there. We're gonna try to get some good stuff going on with on Facebook. Try to make a Facebook page. Also, you want to become an exclusive member, you want to become a family member, all you have to do is just hit the join button. We do have 2 tiers. We're going to drop it down to 1. Make sure you get everything that's exclusive, all the shows that is live, you get that in advance. Also, we're going to start, like I said, we're going to try to start doing members only live shows, live streams. So make sure you become a family member. Just hit the join button, and all the things that we do, it does go towards the channel. So it goes back towards the channel. What's going on, Mr. Emmy? And also, like I said, if you want to go ahead and send a donation to the channel, you can hit it through Cash App at HBCU Overdrive. You can also hit it on Zelle. That is David at David E. Smith 30@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on, you can donate through PayPal at David Smith 1925. Also, you can also use the super chat on the you can also use the super chat inside of the chat while you're watching the live. That if you don't trust it, but make sure if you do send it, we always let everybody know that these donations goes towards the channel, goes towards travel, goes towards equipment, goes towards initiatives, doesn't go towards my pocket. So just let everybody know about that. All right. Also, we got birthdays. That's this month. I think somebody's birthday was this past weekend, if I'm not mistaken. And I got to look up on Twitter because I actually got to see who it is. Somebody's birthday was up this weekend. But for all the November birthdays, all the Scorpios that's out there, happy birthday to y'all. Happy birthday to y'all. Happy birthday to y'all. So that is what's going on. And as always, make sure, like I said, make sure you hit that donation. We're trying to get trying to hit the donation, trying to get myself down to Tallahassee to bring the experience of a SWAC championship game live from Tallahassee, Florida. Since FAMU is going to be the host school of the championship game, but yeah, that is what is going on right now. So we are in the process of trying to get that squared away. But we know why y'all here. It is the weekend roundup. It is the weekend recap. We're going to get up into it. We're going to start off in the CIAA. As always, you got to start off with our Division 2. And I think I'm the only one that's on YouTube that, other than Dr. Field and his staff, that covers the Division 2 HBCUs. We got Jay White in the building. What's going on, Jay White? So, man, we're gonna start off with Elizabeth City State versus Bluefield State. This game was played in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, where the host team, the home team, won this game. Elizabeth City won 38-20. This concludes both of their seasons since in the CIAA, the SIAC are the only conference to only play 10 games. So, what up, Ashton? What's good? Elizabeth City State was led by a rushing attack of Rashard Diggs. He had 152 yards on 18 carries. Everybody else, 39-32. They, as a team, they ran for 213 yards on 37 carries and 1 touchdown. Donovan Davenport, he was only 7-13, 119 yards, but He had 3 touchdowns in the air, no interceptions. And again, like I said, Bluefield State they are in the first season of the CIAA after being on hiatus for 70 years. So Bluefield State ends their season at 1-9. Elizabeth City State ends their season at 3-7. Like I said, get ready for recruiting. Then you shall see a different team next season. Coming up next, we got live from Charlotte, North Carolina. It was Johnson C. Smith hosting Livingstone College. This is a big rivalry right here, where the home team prevail. Also, Johnson C. Smith over Livingstone 38-17. For Johnson C. Smith, they only rushed for 69 yards, but they did get 2 touchdowns on the ground. Also, Jameer Cherry, excuse me, I got tongue-tied. 16-33, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he also had 2 interceptions in the game. And this game was more likely with it had to be about defense. So but Johnson C. Smith finished their 2023 campaign at 7-3, which was a big adjustment, big improvement from last season, while Livingstone College finished their campaign at 4-6. Let's move on to the next game. Next game on our list, we got Bowie State taking on Lincoln, Pennsylvania. This game was from Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, where Bowie State came out victorious against the Lincoln Lions, 46-39. Bowie State was led by Bowie State had plethora of rushing, had a strong rushing attack yesterday. Quarterback and the running back had over 60 yards on the ground. Where the quarterback Jordan Morris, 66 yards on 13 carries. He had 2 touchdowns. Also, he threw for 277 yards and 3 touchdowns in the air. He accounted for 5 touchdowns by himself. He also accounted for 343 yards of total offense by himself. Joshua Thurston, 63 carries for 63 yards on 15 carries. Basically, this game, they kept the chains moving. Pretty much they kept the score going. And also with on the side with Lincoln, Pennsylvania, Isaiah Freeman, the stud quarterback for the Lincoln Lions, 254 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, but he also had 133 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns himself. So my man accounted for every touchdown that was scored. And he's only a sophomore, y'all. He is only a sophomore. So he had 387 yards of total offense by himself. He was the team. They ran for 200 yards as a team with his 3 touchdowns, but at the end they did not get it done. Lincoln PA finished their campaign at 4-6, and Bowie State finished their campaign at 6-4. We shall see Bowie State get back to their upper echelon in the CIAA North. While Lincoln PA is still trying to search for that winning season. It's been a while, but this is a season they can hang their hat on and they can move forward for the next season. Excuse me, y'all. And we got the Battle of the Toilet Bowl. It is the Toilet Bowl game, but this is Shaw versus St. Augustine, where Shaw comes out victorious 21-14 against St. Aug. St. Aug finished their season at 0-10. A lot of turmoil in this program, a lot of turnover in this program. While Shaw finished their season at 3-7, and I still can't believe that some people said that Shaw was going to be the surprise team in the CIAA, and I told them that was not the case. But both teams in their season with losing records. Now it's time, like I said, time to get back to the drawing board and get to the recruiting. Up on our list, first game on our list is Fayetteville State taking on Winston-Salem State down in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where Fayetteville prevailed in overtime, 40-34. Now, Fayetteville State is pretty much one of the hottest teams in HBCU sports. They are on an 8-game winning streak right now after starting the season at 0-2. After starting the season at 0-2, Fayetteville State runs off 8 straight. Joe Owens Jr. had a good day. He had a decent day, 18-27, 190 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Also had 43 yards on the ground, so 233 yards total offense for himself. Julian Milligan, 13 carries, 86 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Derek Austin Jr. had 10 carries for 34 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Don't see how this game went into overtime, but Winston-Salem State did finish their season off at 4-6. While, like I said, Fayetteville State is on an 8-game winning streak, and they are going to the CIAA championship to face off against the winner of Virginia State versus Virginia Union. And we'll get into that game right now. This game was in Richmond, Virginia. The crowd was crazy. I think that yesterday, from what I'm hearing, they had 15,000, which is pretty much capacity. 15,000 in the crowd. The game was sold out. The battle to basically see who's going to represent the CIAA North. Where in this case, Virginia Union takes it from Virginia State 30-20. Now, Virginia Union finished their season at 9-1. Now they are the representative for the CIAA North to take on the CIAA South representative, Fayetteville State, in Salem, Virginia, for the CIAA championship. Jada Byers was up to his old tricks again, 155 yards on 27 carries. That was light work for him. Christian Reed, 8-14. 151 yards in the air, 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And we're talking about a team that is primarily a running team, a run-based team. On the other side, Virginia State, Jordan Davis, still career numbers, 24-42, 380 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns, but he did account for 3 interceptions. Also, he had 32 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown on the ground to add to his total yards. In all, he had over 412 total yards of offense by himself. What's going on, Antonio Peasy? What's happening? What's going on, Blue? I watched that game, Blue. We're gonna get on that, man. Virginia State, in my opinion, will be the representative in the Florida Beach Bowl, which is the new bowl game that is going to display the HBCUs in Division II. So it will be a matchup between the CIAA and the SIAC runner-ups. So It is, and the CIAA game, the championship game should be a good one. We're talking about Fayetteville State and their stingy defense going up against Virginia Union and its high-power rushing attack led by Jada Byers and Christian Reed. You know, this shall be a dogfight for next week. The best thing about the thing about Fayetteville State, they have to score points. They got to learn how to score points on the offensive end and not try to rely too much on their defense. But it is going to be a great game, y'all. It's going to be a great game. Now let's move on to the SIAC. Y'all already know how we get down over here, the SIAC. Shout out to my bro Kendrick, aka B2 HBCU football on Twitter. Man, shout out to my bro right there. Don't have a score right here for the Central State Kentucky State game. Let me see if I can find that on my ESPN app. Yeah, bear with me. All right. It's on my ESPN app. Central State goes down to Frankfort, Kentucky to take on the Kentucky State Thoroughbreds, where Central State prevailed in this game 20-10. Central State ends their 2023 campaign at 5-5, which is like I said, this is a huge improvement from last season, while Kentucky State is on the downward end at finishing their season at 3-7, where we have talked about that they are transitioning from a ground and pound to an all-out air raid offense. They also have been hit with certain, sanctions from the NCAA. But more than likely, Kentucky State will be able to bounce back for the season. But let's get into it. Let's start off with this one. Edward Waters taking on Virginia Lynchburg. Now, Edward Waters dominated this game from start to finish. That resulted in a final of 41-17. Let's see. Huge day from both of their stars. Deshaun Hugie, excuse me if I messed your name up, son. 30 carries for 204 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Jaron Russell, who is a Grand Prairie native and also Alcorn transfer, 16 of 31, 255 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns, and the best thing about it, no interceptions. This game was basically from start to finish. It was in the hands of Edward Waters. Like I said, Edward Waters finished their season at 6-4, which is their first winning season in, I think, since 2006, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, Virginia Lynchburg, they finished their season at 2-8. But rest assured, got to understand, those 2 wins came against Lane College, and I'm trying to see who was the other one that they played. But looking at them, they shall improve on for the next season. I'm tripping. Now, next game on the list, we got Savannah State going up to Jackson, Tennessee, to Lane College. And I think I call this another toilet bowl game. But Lane College came out with the victory, 27-21. Both teams finished their season at 2-8. There's not too much I can say about Lane, but gotta get on it. Oh, Mr. Ford is on up in here. I got you. All right, there you go, Mr. Ford. Well, both teams end their season at 2-8. Both got to get back to the drawing board, see what happens during recruiting season. Let's move on to the next game. Next game we got on the list, we got Morehouse versus Clark Atlanta. And like I said, there was another toilet bowl game. But somebody had to win this game right here. Somebody got to win this game. What's going on, Mr. Ford?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah.
Morehouse got their first win yesterday, 35.
Over my school. Yes, they did.
Hey, it was tough sledding for both schools, especially with Clark Atlanta when they fired Willie Slater. And to me, I think Coach Slater, the game had passed him by.
Because I was wondering, because I'm gonna be honest with you, because I've been watching Coach Slater since the 70s when he was a quarterback at, I think they called it West Alabama, but that was back in then they were called Livingston or something. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what happened, but my thing is, I didn't understand why Clark fired him, because we don't give enough support for be firing anybody. But I'm gonna have to get over there one day and ask him. I mean, was it the AD or why all of a sudden you want to fire him? Because I just like, to me, he's a legend. I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to watch him at Tuskegee beat up SWAC school. I remember one time he took Jackson State into Mobile. That was Tony using them and beat them up. The year before he took FAMU down there with that guy was named Alex Wood and beat them up. So now he got a pedigree now. He got a pedigree, but I just would like to know why y'all decided to get rid of him all of a sudden.
Well, I think, I'll be honest with you, and a lot of folks have been talking about, we talked about this before. I think the game had passed them by. Like,
okay.
That is my only take on that. But like I said, Morehouse did get their first win of the season. So both teams just got to go to the drawing board and see what they can get. Clark Atlanta just got to get them a coach, and I think with Morehouse, when the season went down the line during this season, I seen them kind of make some improvements, make some adjustments. It just they couldn't capitalize it in the win column, but they did it. They did it yesterday. So both teams finished. Both teams finished what, one is second to last, and the one is last place.
Yeah, I would tell them just like I would tell Coach Dr. McClellan, y'all got to spend more money on football. Clark needs to spend more money on football. Morehouse needs to spend more money on football. And Dr. McClellan and them in that SWAC got to pay better salaries for them football coaches. Mm-hmm. So if y'all want big time football, you got to pay for it. And because I want them salaries to come up.
Well, let's see. We got Tuskegee taking on Miles. That was down in Fairfield in the woods.
Yeah. Woo. That's Willie Mays' home, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Miles to Tuskegee to the woodshed. No pun intended.
What was that score?
35-10.
Whoa, yeah. But they, A&M took them to the woodshed, and they're probably going to get, because I watched Alabama State yesterday. Man, they might get taken again. Come Thanksgiving weekend. Come Thanksgiving Day, because they got to play Alabama State at Hornet Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving Day, baby. Because let me tell you something. Me and a friend of mine was watching them play Grambling yesterday. Listen, Doc, What I'm seeing here for the next at least the next 2 years, baby, we want to watch them Hornets, man, because they
I
getting
believe
better,
so.
bro.
I believe so.
Yeah, they getting stronger.
I thought Klein Peter, who's the quarterback for Miles, I thought he was going to play, but they had Cameron Ivory out there. He had a career day yesterday, 312 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So, hey, Miles is one of them teams where do you really want to play them?
Yeah, because I think they spend some money too.
Do you really want to play this school? Like,
yeah,
if it don't matter if it's a SWAC school or a MEAC or CIAA school, do you really want to play Miles? And do you really want to play them with this defense that they have right
now? Yeah, their future's bright for them.
Tuskegee in their campaign at 7-3. We're just gonna see who will be the representative in that Florida Beach Bowl. So I want to see how that's gonna be right there. I want to see who's gonna.
Well, the game, you know, they come here next week at Lakewood Stadium. It's Benedict and Albany State. I know Albany State is a big time underdog because you know Benedict is a chainsaw right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They beating people unmercifully.
Yeah, let's get into that game right there. Benedict. This was the last game of the season at home. This was the Battle of Columbia. This is what
right.
But I know Allen is in in Blackwood.
Yeah,
right?
It's not far from, isn't it across the street or something from Benedict?
It's across the street from Benedict.
Yeah.
So hey, look, you taking on your across the street neighbor. And look, man, I told y'all, David Wright can throw you into games and he can throw you out of games. He threw them out of the game last night. He was 15 of 33, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, and he had 2 interceptions. So he leads all HBCU quarterbacks, no matter what division it is, in yards, in passing yards. But he also leads them in interceptions thrown. I think that he got 2, so I think that was like 16 or 17 that he has thrown for the season. Like I said, he can throw you into games. He can throw you out of games. But on the other side with Benedict, they really didn't have to do too much yesterday. All they had to do was just go out there and be dominant. And I watched the game, and I have watched the replay again. Mr. Ford, that defensive line is straight up ridiculous.
It is. But you know, my thing right now, if Tony Clayton and the Southern alums are not ringing that man's phone, they are completely lost and wasting time. Yesterday, and I ain't trying to get ahead of everything. Listen, Alcorn beat Southern yesterday in the first half. If y'all ain't calling that Chennisberry, if Tony Clayton, because Tony is the one calling the shots down there. If y'all ain't talking to Chennisberry, y'all are wasting time. Not only you wasting time, you don't understand what's going on. Because it ain't going to get no better. I'm telling you, Alcorn beat them in the first half.
We're going to get to that, Mr. Ford. Let's see. We got Albany State and Fort Valley down at the Fountain City Classic.
Oh, I watched that one too.
They said this game was a classic for the
Listen, they beat up. Listen, Albany State made a change at about 4 or 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and won the game. Okay, and won the game. They were down 7-0. I'm gonna ignore this right now. They were down 7-0. They made a quarterback change with about 4 minutes to go. He drives them in for a touchdown, tied it up 7-7. They come back. Albany State's defense gets a turnover, and they win the game. Fort Valley beat them for at least 3.5 quarters.
Right.
And then, did you hear about the attendance?
Oh, they said it was packed.
Yeah, it was 19,000 paid attendance. That wasn't even including the complimentary stuff. Now, and I got a problem too with them. If them guys are not getting at least $200,000 a piece for that, they need to move that game back to campus because they being cheated. I would love to know what is Albany State getting for that Fountain City Classic and what is Fort Valley getting. You know what? I got some friends for. I'm gonna find out because if they are not getting at least 150 to $200,000 a piece, they getting cheated. They need to move them game. That game needs to go back to either Fort Valley's campus and go back to Albany State's campus because that's packed. All them hotels are packed. All them restaurants are packed. They got to pay them people, man. They got to pay them people.
Yep. So if you don't know, in fact, Albany State, because of their win last weekend against Miles and this weekend against Fort Valley, Albany State is the representative, one rep for the SIAC championship. And like I said, they are going up against the #1 ranked team in all of HBCU football, the Benedict Tigers. This game will be, it will be at Lakewood Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta at 1 o'clock.
And 1 o'clock next week.
Mm-hmm. Should be a nice crowd out there. You got all kind of Albany State people here in this city. And Benedict's just right up the road. That's for us, that's I-20. That's Columbia.
So I'm looking. I'm going to be looking for somebody to be. Is it going to be an upset? Are we gonna see a close game, or are we gonna see complete dominance by Benedict?
Well, of course, we want a complete game, but I'm kind of leaning to a complete dominance by because baby, let me tell you something. In the SIAC, ain't nobody got no answer for Benedict. Nobody got an answer for them. Their best answer is Southern come up there and move him to Baton Rouge. That's the best answer.
I don't want to see that man. I don't want to see that man.
He's got to come to the SWAC, man. We need this guy. And listen, my school, Grambling, we got to get a defensive staff, man. We got to get a defensive staff. I like Coach Cedric Thornton, but baby, I got to get me a defense coordinator, and I want me somebody that already got his staff. We got to get a defense staff at Grambling. Because to be honest with you, Alabama State dominated that game with their defense yesterday.
Mm-hmm. So if you look at the conference standings for the SIAC, of course, like I said, Benedict, they stand along 8-0 in conference, 10-0 overall. Tuskegee, Fort Valley, Miles, and Albany State all have the same conference record at 6-2. But Tuskegee beat Fort Valley at the beginning of the season.
Right.
Miles lost to Albany State last weekend. Albany State, didn't they play? Let me see. I'm gonna try to get on their schedule.
They lost their homecoming to Allen. They also lost to Edward Waters.
Right. So those are the only two conference losses. But because they beat Miles, they beat Miles, that gives them the actual. They beat Miles in Fort Valley. They gave them the actual tiebreaker, so that eliminated both of those schools right there. And Tuskegee losing to Edward Waters at home for their homecoming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also losing to Miles yesterday eliminated them from contention. And of course, to me, I was like, I really did not want to see that rematch from last season. Tuskegee got taken to the woodshed by Benedict.
Well, I think the whole conference did, didn't it? They ruined 3 homecomings.
They ruined 3 homecomings last season.
Yeah, we don't have a match for them. Like I said, the only thing we can do with them is for Chennisberry to go to Baton Rouge.
So, but like again, shout out to Central State, Edward Waters, and Allen University for ending their season with a 500 or better record. Central State ended the season at 5-5. Edward Waters ended their season at 6-4. Excuse me, and Allen ended their season at 6-3.
Right.
So, that, like I said, those are some good things to go about, and it's good that they're not having they don't have division, so the best two teams in the conference get to square up with each other. Kentucky State, Wayne, Savannah State, Morehouse, and Clark Atlanta got to get back to the drawing board. So now and I think in this sense right here, whoever is the loser of the championship game, I think they will be one of the representatives for the bowl game in December. So if Albany State loses to Benedict, I think they will be the representative in the Florida Beach Bowl against one of the runner-ups for the CIAA. Now that CIAA is going to be all defense. I ain't gonna say no offense, but it's gonna be all defense because you got Fayetteville State, who really can't score worth a lick, but you get that defense on the field, it's lights out. And they are they on an 8-game winning streak, and then they're going up against the Virginia Union, who took Virginia State to the woodshed. Yeah. It was a packed house, 15,000 in Richmond, Virginia. So gotta have the same type of energy next week when you go to Salem, Virginia for that championship game. You got anything, any word on that, Mr. Ford?
Well, I and I said this again. I think that the guy that's at Virginia Union, I think his name is Dr. Alvin Parker.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to look at seeing how we can get him in the SWAC. I don't know where, but from because I remember one year he took his Virginia Union team into Hampton and beat them. Mm-hmm. So I would love to see him come, see if somebody would be interested in him, because I'm going to be honest with you. At the least, I think 3 coaches need to go in the West. I'm going to be honest. I think 3 of them need to go. I do.
So we're going to get into the MEAC. Somebody homecoming. Somebody got throttled at somebody's homecoming. It was actually 2 of them. But
yeah, because Howard got beat down in Orangeburg yesterday.
Yes, they did. Howard losing to South Carolina State 27-24. But that's the story, though. The story is, how do you give up 4 bills, 400 yards of rushing to South Carolina State?
And they basically eliminated Pat throwing the ball. I don't think they might have thrown the ball 10 times yesterday. They did that old South Carolina State football from the 70s. They picked out a back and just rolled him the whole game. Because I think one of their backs ran for 283 or something.
Mm-hmm. Juwan Howe, he's the freshman.
Yeah, that's that old South Carolina. That was Willie Jeffers type football. They was gonna play outstanding defense. Offense was sweet right, sweet left, run it to the A gap, B gap, and that was it. They might throw 1 or 2 passes. That was it. That's old South Carolina State football from back in the 70s.
Corey Fields his numbers was abysmal throwing the ball.
Yeah, he didn't throw, but didn't he attempt 7 passes or 11? What did he attempt? 11?
11 passes. He only had 3 completions, 19
That's
yards.
Right. Yeah.
But he had 96 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
Mr. Ford got that call. Oh, man. But South Carolina State did come out into this game. They was revved up. They was fired up. And that was running from the jump. They was running from the beginning, y'all. And it's crazy. Howard started the game off with a touchdown pass from Q Will to Brennan Brown. That's the tight end. And then Juwan Howe had a 48-yard touchdown run. The freshman, that freshman is a dog. And my boy Kobe been talking. He been saying about this. He been saying to him about this, that he's going to be the future of South Carolina State football. Of course, he had an 85-yard touchdown run, and then he topped it off with a 16-yard touchdown run. to give South Carolina State the lead in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, of course, they Howard scores 10 points in the fourth quarter, but they just didn't have enough in the tank. They just didn't have enough in the tank to get everything, to get that done. It was one of them games where you gotta play. you gotta play 4 quarters of football, and South Carolina State played 4 quarters of football yesterday. But Howard needs to fix that rush defense, because you cannot give up 438 yards of rushing, and then let one guy get 280 yards rushing by himself.
Yeah, Doc, that's how they used to play back in the day, man.
So Howard and South Carolina State sitting at 2-1 in the MEAC. Both teams sitting at 4-5. They still got 3 games left. No, they got 2 games left in that in this wild MEAC race. Then you got Delaware State taking on Morgan State.
You think it's a race?
Hey, you got 3 teams with 2-1 records.
Because listen, I'm tell you something. After that Morgan and North Carolina Central game, I said Central going to the Celebration Bowl. I thought it was over.
We shall see.
Yeah, I thought it was over.
Morgan State won the game against Delaware State, of course, 24-17. Like I said, watching that game, watching Delaware State is like watching paint dry. Morgan State, they do. I think they found their quarterback, freshman Todd Smith, 6 of 17, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception.
Right.
Also had 66 yards on the ground, so he basically controlled the ball, to control the game with his arm, with his legs. J.J. Davis with 75 yards and a touchdown on the ground. I think with Morgan State, if they can get that offense, like you said, we get a quarterback, and I think they do have the quarterback.
That's all they got to do is wait to see who the ACC and the SEC and the Big 12 are going to throw in the trash and go get it. That's all they got to do. And you'll end up with that, like that, your homeboy that went to Grambling. What's his name? Ken K.
Ken K.
Yeah, because Ken K was 3rd or 4th string when he left Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And that's that's all we need. Just wait on the big dog to throw out their trash and go get it. And baby, let me tell you something. If they mess around and get them something like a Ken K, like that kind of steal, I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. Y'all can go and put them in the Celebration Bowl. With all that stuff they got, you can put them in the Celebration Bowl.
But yeah, man, it's still, like I said, it's a 3-team race. And then yesterday, North Carolina Central, packed house in Durham, North Carolina, taking on Norfolk State, won the game 38-24. I'm looking at this box score, and it seemed like they didn't want to let up. They did not let up in this game. Davius Richard, of course, he had this regular game. 9 of 16, 151 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and then he also had 50 yards on the ground with 1 touchdown on the ground.
Now, didn't they play Norfolk? Yeah. Well, the word in Norfolk now is, why haven't they played the SAP kid? So I don't know. You know what? I'm a Dawson Oven fan, but I don't know, man. They season over with the 18th, and when's that season over?
Yeah, they season over on the 18th.
You know what? I wouldn't doubt, man, if they moved Dawson, because it's too many question marks up there, and if they can't get this done, now they're saying, why was the SAP kid on the bench? Yeah.
So, of course, North Carolina Central is 3-0 in the conference, but like I said, you got a 3-team race. for second place. South Carolina State, Howard, and Morgan State all sitting at 2-1 in conference play. Morgan State still got to play. They still got to play Howard. They still got to play South Carolina State. So those are the only two schools that they got left on the schedule. They already lost, played North Carolina Central. They lost to them by 6, which I think that was one of the best games that I've seen defensive-wise from basically from both teams, but from the Morgan State team. You got South Carolina State. They already took on the boogeyman North Carolina Central last week. They beat Howard. They already beat Delaware State. They still got Morgan State. They still got Norfolk State. So, and then last but not least, you got Howard. Howard is the one that is going to scare because this coming Saturday, they got to take on North Carolina Central up in D.C. That game will be a 2:30 p.m. kickoff on ESPNU. So that game right there is going to tell you who is going to win, who is going to win the conference. Because the 3 teams that are sitting at second place with 2-1 records all lost to North Carolina Central.
Yeah, I don't see Howard being on Central's level. Like you said, anybody can win any given day, but I wouldn't be surprised if Central stumped them out up there in DC. Was that Greenfield? What's that field called? Green Stadium. I'm you know what? If they give Central a good game, I'm gonna be happy. But right now, I ain't feeling. I just don't. Like I told you, and I'm say this again. I think that the 2 giants in the MEAC right now is Morgan and Central. And I think that Morgan is a transfer portal quarterback away. If they get that transfer portal quarterback, like you said, this new kid, that freshman come through for him, man, y'all better watch Morgan now. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm a fan of that Wilson man, too. I'm a fan of his. Because I saw him at Bowie.
Yep. So let's get down to the SWAC, y'all. So we already know Thursday night, Bethune-Cookman taking on Mississippi Valley. The game was on prime time, ESPNU. Bethune takes the victory 20-7 against Valley. Now this is the thing about Valley. Valley played 2 freshman QBs on Thursday. Tajarian Williams, he started off the game. He was 7 of 13 for 63 yards. He also threw an interception. But then they throw in Jaden Sisk. Now, Jaden Sisk is I've seen him play before. He's from here in Dallas. Went to W.T. White High School. Short kid, about 5'11", 6 foot, 100 and about, I'm gonna say about 200 pounds. He was 9 of 16, 174 yards and 1 interception. So they're trying to find continuity with that with their quarterback situation.
I talked to some people here in Atlanta who watched the game. They had some good things to say about that kid from Dallas. Mm-hmm. They thought that he added a spark, and they thought that he could be the future. I didn't see the game, but some people I talked to was kind of impressed with that kid from Dallas.
Yeah. So I'm also impressed with this kid. He's Jackson Davis. He's the tight end for Valley. He's a freshman also. He's from Dallas, too. He went to DeSoto. I know his mother. He had 5 receptions for 92 yards. He didn't get a touchdown, but he is one of those tight ends you talking about, 6'5". He got to put some weight on him. They say he's at 210, 215. I think he's like around 205, 210. So you put him on a weight program, get him up to about at least 225, 230. Also, He has speed on him. He's more like a Jency Riley role, type of mode. Like tall, lean, slender, but he has speed and he's tough. So you get you get him and you get him in that weight room and he improves on his blocking also, and you got something that's going to be scary at Valley. Like I said, you got to give them kudos for even not saying even going to the game, but just with the season that they had this year. And while we got to talk about this with Bethune-Cookman, they got their second win of the season. Talik Bethea was 12 of 18, 136 yards and 1 touchdown. Jimmy Robinson III, 61 yards on the ground. I mean, this game was an ugly game. So it wasn't no game. It was one of those games where it's like you got to find a way. You got to find a way to win.
Yeah, I've said this to you before. If that coach at Bethune-Cookman goes out and get his offensive trenches together and get some more defensive linemen, I think Bethune is going to be back. Because now one thing they got in Florida, all the skill, everybody down there can outrun. They can run. Mm-hmm. So I don't think getting skill position people, DBs and wide receivers and tight end, that's not going to be hard. But the main thing is that he can bring in some experienced offensive and defensive linemen. If he can do that next year, I think we're going to be talking about Bethune too.
Right. So let's get on into this. We got next game on the list. We got Prairie View that took on Arkansas Pine Bluff. This is Prairie View's homecoming. Shout out to my niece. Yeah, she had her first homecoming as a Prairie View Panther. From what I'm hearing, it was packed down there.
What was the attendance?
It was 14,000.
Oh yeah, that's a nice crowd.
And I told you they're only going to come in for a couple of games, and homecoming is one of those games right there. So in this game, man, Prairie View defeats Arkansas Pine Bluff 38-14. Now, let's get on to Prairie View. So Prairie View, man, Trayson Conley had a career day yesterday in passing yards, 305 yards on 18 of 29 attempts, and 1 touchdown. And the best thing about it, no interceptions. He also added 46 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown too. So basically, they kept the game. He basically put the game in his hands. It told his dude just to basically follow me. Overall, they ended up with 494 yards of total offense with 4 touchdowns altogether. They did get an interception, returned that for a touchdown. Basically, Prairie View had a I wouldn't say a typical Prairie View day, but with their offense, it was better than what we saw, what we've been seeing for the last couple of weeks. With Pine Bluff, on the other hand, they got to get that quarterback play and they got to get that quarterback situation taken care of, because 4 of 12 for 1 yard passing and an interception doesn't get you nowhere.
Well, like we always say, offensive line and wide receivers make quarterbacks. I've watched Pine Bluff against Tennessee State, and I'm gonna give that guy a pass because he's just got to go and get his recruits in.
Mm-hmm.
But that Prairie View, and I'll say this again. Initially, I thought Prairie View's biggest problem was they needed an offensive coordinator. But I'm saying this to repeat myself from last week. Prairie View needs a defensive staff. That's their biggest need right now. Offensive coordinator can come later. They've got to get a defense coordinator, and he needs to have a staff that he can work with. That's the number one need at Prairie View. They got to do. If Prairie View is going to be a power, they got to get that defensive staff together.
Oh yeah. But Prairie View held it to 146 yards of total offense, and they only got their 2 scores off of touchdown runs in this game. So I mean, Prairie View, I think the improvement is coming along. But we shall see coming up next week again, when they play Southern. And then that last game is against Alabama State. But
that Alabama State game, is that in Montgomery or that's in
that's a
Prairie? Okay. And I'm gonna say it again. I don't think Alabama State gonna lose another game this year. I don't think they're gonna lose another game.
And it seems like they ain't gonna lose another game this year. It really do seem like it.
Because they done put some things together. Like I said, my only complaint now is he's not utilizing his tight ends enough.
Right.
If he start utilizing his tight end, and then that kid, that guy, not a kid, but the quarterback at Alabama State, he's a Mississippian.
Yeah, Damon Stewart.
Yeah, he's from Hattiesburg, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from down that way.
Oh yeah. Woo. Okay. I know he came to them from UAB. I like him. I like that kid, man. I think that kid is the answer to a prayer.
Yeah. It's one of them things where seeing him, it like, I think that was the spark that they needed.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I think he was a spark, and I like that guy, man. I think he's heady. I think he has a lot of tenacity. I like this guy, man. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm telling you now. What I see with Alabama State, they're going to be tough next year. If they keep them kids together, bringing some more kids, bringing some more depth like Willie did this year, listen, man, Alabama State's going to be dangerous. I'm telling you now. And then they got all them big games will be in Montgomery next year. They're going to have Jackson coming to them. They're going to have FAMU coming to them. There's going to be some big games in Montgomery next year.
Oh, yeah. So we get to that game, right? We're going to get into the game with Alabama State and Grambling. Woo. The game was in Montgomery.
No, I thought it was in Mobile.
It was in Mobile. It was in
Mobile, yeah, Port City Classic.
Mm-hmm. And the attendance for that, it was only 8,601.
That game should have been in either Grambling or either in Montgomery. That's a waste of time.
Should have been in Montgomery.
Should have been in Montgomery. That's a waste of time. 8,000. That's a waste of time.
Alabama State. Look, he didn't have the best passing game yesterday. Damon Stewart, he was 12 of 16, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Right.
But he managed the game. He managed the game from start to finish. Alabama State's rushing. They rushed for 167 yards as a team. Marcus Harris was the rusher with 75 yards on the ground, followed by Juwan Howell with 40 yards on the ground and only 11 carries. Look, Keyshawn Johnson.
Oh, he's the truth. He's the truth, Doc.
He's only a sophomore. Ooh.
And he might be out. Was he preseason all conference?
No.
He should have been. That boy's something else, man. I think he's out of Birmingham.
Yep. Oh, he's just a sophomore. Make sure y'all keep him there.
Yeah, and that boy looks for that. That quarterback looks for him too.
But yeah, man, look, let's get on to Grambling. Miles Crowley, 21 of 31, 197 yards, 1 touchdown, and he threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Alabama State does this to everybody. Even did this to Jackson State. If you're going to run the ball, against Alabama State, you better have a hard hat. You better have about 2 bottles of Tylenol, because these jokers, they go out there, they hit.
Yeah, they're gonna take the run away. You're not gonna run on them. They'll give you the pass, but you ain't gonna run on them. And they're gonna pack the paint. They're gonna pack the trenches, and they're gonna let you know you're not gonna run it. And then they'll back them off once they see that you've committed to their game. Mm-hmm. But the first thing that Eddie and them is from the old school. Eddie and them whole thing is you're not gonna run the football. You're not running it. That's the old school back in the day when we were coaching and playing. The first thing we ever said, you're not going to run the football. We got to put 6, 7 in the paint, 8. You're not running.
Right.
Yeah, and that's Eddie and them got that mindset.
So let's get down to this game right here. Which game should we start with first? Should we start with the Alcorn game? Should we start with the FAM game?
Well, I thought that the most significant game yesterday was Alcorn, so I said we get them last.
Okay. So, FAMU taking on Alabama A&M up in Huntsville, and the Marching 100 made their way up there.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They made their way up to the game. This game was, from start to finish, was pretty much, it was a great game from start to finish. Now,
well, I think it's like you always say, what you always get on them about is it was a slow starting game for FAM.
It was a slow starting game for FAM.
That second half, they put it together and blew them out.
But
it was slow start.
But I'm gonna say this though, they started off fast because they scored 17 straight in the first quarter.
But and Doc, if they had really kept it going, they would have scored 50 points yesterday.
50 points yesterday. But this is what I don't like. You don't let them come back into the game because they literally was in this game from the first, in the first half. So, halftime score was 24-21. I ain't saying I was looking for a fan to lose this game, but I'm just saying this. You can't let them come back into the game and make a game of it in the first half. But of course, in the second half, they did what they're supposed to do.
Well, Willie displayed something that a lot of us have forgotten in the SWAC, and that is he displayed his special team. Willie's special teams are special. You can tell they practice on their special teams. I mean, from punting to field goal kicking. And his special team stood up yesterday. And that was one of the reasons they got that lead on in the second half. They kind of jumped on A&M. But it was their special teams played a big role in that. And a lot of our coaches, they don't put a lot of emphasis on special teams. He does.
Yeah, I'm going to say it like this. It was one of them things where they got back, they got back into the game in the second quarter, and they ran, basically they ran them off the field. Ran them straight clean off the field. Typical day for Jeremy Lucer, 245 yards in the air.
He could have had 3 on the, because he gets like a day school at times too. If he had 245, he could have had 350.
And then on the field, Alabama and this is one thing I don't like about what Maynard does. Like, why not exploit that FAM defensive front with Xavier Langford when you put in Quincy Casey, which I have no problem with you putting in Quincy Casey, but Quincy is he's not a typical run. He's not a dual threat. He is a gunslinger.
No. He's gun. No. Yeah, he's a gunslinger. Yeah.
So why not exploit that situation where, I don't know, man. Making decisions like that, it gets you fired.
Well, Maynard played quarterback. The guys that I've worked with that play quarterback and coach quarterback, they are very critical of quarterbacks. And Maynard's one of them guys, you ain't got no say a position now. Like that Xavier them didn't really have a good game in that game up there in Birmingham. So, hey, he's ready to go to his next quarterback. That's just Cornell right there now. Now, I hope that them people up there, Dr. Williams, and the AD's name is Brian, is
Dr. Paul Bryant.
Okay, I hope y'all ain't stupid enough to start talking about y'all gonna fire Maynard, because you ain't gonna get no better. Don't be no fool. But anyway, I'm gonna say this again. Maynard's problem to me is not offensive. is defensive. I am not impressed with Bulwell now. And I don't think he utilizes and he does not dictate tempo like he should. So if it's anything, bring in another co-defense coordinator, go get another defense coordinator. That's see, when you get them guys like Maynard that want to score 40 and 50 points, they're going to neglect the defense. And he got to go get it. He needs a defense coordinator. Bro, I like some of the schemes, but the attitude that defense played with is not right. They don't have the correct attitude. They don't want to be dominant.
I like this question right here. It said, what has Quincy Casey done since leaving JSU? Really not too much of anything.
No. Like you said, he's a gunslinger. He can throw you in it or throw you out it. You know, he's like a streaky NBA shooter. Remember Lloyd Bree Freed and him? They would take 30 shots. One night he hit them all. The next night he ain't going to hit but 2 of them. He's like that. He's streaky.
Manning needs a lot more than just a defensive coordinator, because he needs a lot more than just that.
What else you think he need?
Well, he need a quarterback. And
yeah, I'm surprised they haven't played that kid from Georgia State yet. And how many years eligibility he got?
Let's see. It says Quincy Casey, this is last year. So you got Xavier Langford for 1 more year next season, and then you got
that kid. Huh?
They said he gone. Ooh, he left the program.
Oh, Brown left the program?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, me, he was betting both. He was betting Casey and he was betting Langford now. From what I saw at Georgia State, he could run it and throw it.
They say he entered the portal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And see, man, but look, FAMU is humming along. They 8-1. They are, with this win yesterday, they have sole possession of hosting the SWAC championship game in Tallahassee. By the way, we trying to get myself to go down there.
Oh, you're going to enjoy yourself, man. You been to Tallahassee before?
Oh, yeah, I've been to Tallahassee before.
Oh, man, I love going down to Tallahassee, man. I love it. You got 2 major universities right there. I mean, a stone's throw away from each other. You got Florida State, you got Florida A&M, and both of them winning.
That is true.
Yeah, man. Man, I grew up going to them Florida A&M games. Man. Who ain't nothing like Tallahassee when A&M rolling, baby.
But yeah, they'll be able to. They'll be the host team.
Yeah.
The host school to host for the SWAC championship game. We try to get myself down there. We trying to raise the money. Try to raise money to get down there to Tallahassee, man. Because
it look like Alcorn gonna be the team, man.
What it look like.
Man, listen. You know, you play Jackson State play Alcorn on the 17th or 18th?
18th.
That is gonna be a classic. Because let me tell you something. I knew it because I've watched my coordinators. I knew somebody different was calling them plays this year for Alcorn. And see, the thing about Alcorn, they getting better every game. Now, they don't have a dominant defense, but they have what we used to call an opportunistic defense. They're always looking for an interception, or they're always trying to strip you up for a fumble, okay? But it's not no dominant defense like Jackson had last year. It's not that. But that offense, every week that offense gets better.
Yeah.
They turned another page in that darn gone playbook. And I knew it wasn't that Elliott Rodden guy I was complaining about. I knew it. I talked to some people. They said it's this guy, Jason Phillips. But I just want to say, if it's Jason Phillips or whoever you are, kudos to you. You're doing a great job with that offense. Because, see, at the beginning of the year, they was throwing it good, but the running game wasn't there. Now they're doing both of them. They throwing it and they running it.
Yep. So, man, it's a lot to say. Like I said, we try to get myself down there.
That's gonna be nice, man.
For the championship game, so I can get the experience of being at an actual championship game. Not just, and people of FAMU only welcome me with open arms, but I'm still gonna be there.
They will. They know you. They know you. Now the other thing you got to do now, Doc, if go ahead on and get your room now. Because baby, when they make that thing official, them rooms gonna be gone. When they make it official that FAM is gonna host that SWAC championship, you can't wait then to get your room. Go ahead and get your room now. Or at least just tell them to hold the room for you. If not, you're gonna have to live way outside of Tallahassee, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that now, but go on and just tell them, look, you might not, I ain't got the money right now, but just hold this room for me, because they got some nice hotels there in Tallahassee, and go ahead and get your room now, because baby, once they make it official, ain't gonna be no rooms. They like Southern, they people coming, man, like y'all, like Jackson, they gonna be there.
Yeah, I hear what Mr. Ford said.
Yeah, they know them ones down there, they know what I'm talking about. Man, you're going to end up living, if you try to wait till the last minute, you're going to be living 50 miles outside of Tallahassee.
This Dr. D said, hold off on the room.
Yeah, you better go ahead and get the room now. Go and get the room now.
So let's get into this Alcorn Southern game. Look. Oh my God. All right. So look, Southern starts the game off. Kendrick Grimes, 1 yard touchdown run. They put them up 7-0, and then it went downhill from there.
I thought that game was over in the first half. Once the first half was over, I thought the game was over.
It went downhill from there.
I thought it was over at the end of the first half.
And then Monterio Hunt, we had a Monterio Hunt sighting, 35-yard pass from Aaron Allen that scored 10-7. And then this is the turn of the game where I saw right here. Keenan Leachman, when he hit that, it was. I know he hit Rhymes. All he did, he just straight bullied the ball out of his hands, turned and scored on a 27-yard fumble return. Don't even call it a fumble return. You just call that a snatch and grab, because that's what that was right there. That was the snatch and grab yesterday.
Yeah.
Then Malik Rogers. Aaron Allen was spot on yesterday. Next thing you know, it goes, like I said, it started going downhill from there. That 52 Tavarius Griffin, that 52-yard pass, I think that was a slant. I don't know if it was a slant or it was a post route, but he got as soon as the ball got into his hands, he split between the safety and the cornerback, took it to the house for 52 yards. Chandler Whitfield, 38-yard pass from Harold Blood, so they put the game up. They put them at 31-14. And then in the third quarter, that man Leachman again had a tip the ball, interception, return for 88 yards, made it 41-14. And like I said, that was it. Look, that Alcorn bullied them boys last night.
Well, I want to say kudos to Coach Mack. The whole season people have been trying to bury him and end his career. And now it look like he getting ready to play for the SWAC championship. While these people are talking about him, he going out. It's obvious that man's he made adjustments during the offseason last year. He has made adjustments during this season. Because I'm going to say this again, Doc. I've watched them about the last 2 or 3 weeks. Alcorn is getting better every week.
Yeah.
They're getting better every week.
Blue said it could have been much worse, because if they wouldn't have got them 7 points to Southern off that muff punt, it would have been probably like 50 or 60 piece. Blue,
well, let me ask Blue this question. Blue, if you had a chance, would you keep Dooley? Would you let him go? I'm talking about now. That's the question. Would you keep him for next year? Would you let him go? And please tell me what he say. Because my thing is, don't waste no time. You're going to mess around and somebody going to get chinnies. Tony Clayton and the alums of Southern University, that man ain't going to do nothing no better. Actually, it's going to get worse, because them kids are questioning themselves. They playing with no confidence. So what did Blue say?
He hasn't said anything yet.
Okay. So my thing is, when this season over with, Dooley got to go.
Oh, he said they should have fired Dooley last night.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. He
He
got
said
to
they
go.
should
He ain't gonna get no better. And they
He
gonna
said
mess around and somebody gonna get Chinnis.
they said fire. You should have fired Dooley last night, man. Boy, that's funny right there. Blue be coming with some Blue. Y'all just don't know about Blue. Blue coming in with the fire, but Aaron Allen played lights out yesterday. 19 of 30, 263 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Then Jarvion Howard got a jump each. Jarvion Howard, we said this earlier. We said this before. It was like you got to jumpstart his engine. You had to jumpstart his engine this season. He did start out the season. He started out the season slow. He started out the season slow, but the last 3 games, 155 yards on the ground, 97 yards on the ground, 128 yards yesterday.
He has 1,000 now. How many does he have?
No, he don't even have 1,000 now. He has, I think he has 6. Right now, he's at 661.
Okay.
But he might be a little bit. He might be up there a little bit more. ESPN haven't updated his the stats yet.
Okay.
But getting him started, getting that man started right there, hey, it's one of them things where look, I don't know what to tell y'all. I really don't know what to tell y'all.
About what? About Southern?
Now by Jarvion Howard.
I think they done woke him up now. I think that from what I saw, they got him incorporated. Now I think everybody was doing was packing the paint on him, and he couldn't get a loose. But now with that air game the way it is, what they've done now, they are throwing to run.
Yeah. But yeah, Tavarius Griffith, 79 yards on the touchdown. Monterio Hunt, 59 yards on the touchdown. The little McNair, Akeem McNair, 46 yards receiving. Tavarius Adams, 28 yards. Man, look, it was an all-around game for Alcorn, and the defense they woke that defense up. I don't know what they said to them yesterday, but they woke that defense up and they bullied them boys in there. They bullied them boys the whole game.
Well, I got a question, Doc, for you and Blue. Who you got, FAMU and Alcorn? Who you got, and what kind of score we look? What the score you got?
Now, Alcorn finished out the season on a strong note. They finished out the season on a strong note, and they get down to Tallahassee.
Yeah. Who you got?
I would say I would get Alcorn just by technicality because of the fact that they could actually slow the game down against FAMU.
What kind of score you talking?
I would say in the 20s. I would say 28-24.
What did Blue say?
Blue haven't said anything yet.
Okay. I can't pick Alcorn. I can't pick nobody over FAM in Bragg Stadium. I can't do it. I like Alcorn.
He got mine reversed. He got FAMU in a close game.
Yeah, I think it'll be close, but I can't see. I don't think Alcorn could go in there and beat them in Bragg. I don't believe.
I mean,
they could do it. They could do it, but I just don't. I'd have to see it.
They could do it, but like I said, it's going to be a close game if that game was.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close because, like I said, one thing about Alcorn that is obvious now, they're making a lot of adjustments during the game. Mm-hmm. That was the problem I had with them when Elliott Rodden was calling the plays. I didn't see adjustment. I'm seeing adjustments now. And like I said, these last 3 or 4 weeks, every game, Alcorn has gotten better. Y'all say what y'all want to. Alcorn beat Southern yesterday in the first half. They beat them. They was through.
Beat the dog doodle out of them in the
They
first
beat
half.
them in the first half. Did he put something on there yet?
No, he said FAMU by in a close game. It'd be 27-4.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
He pretty much reversed what I said. I said it'll be Alcorn, but and the thing I can say FAMU because it's one of the things where like it's just one of the things where I just see it will just be a close game. It would be to me it would be more of a defensive battle than what you would see by offensively.
Yeah.
So let's get to the last game. We got the Tigers. It was a battle of the Tigers. We got Jackson State Tigers taking on the Texas Southern Tigers down in the vet yesterday. Look, my boy Quay Davis for Texas Southern. He was on Instagram on Friday talking so much noise to the players, to Jalen Hughes and all the boys at Jackson State. So start out the game. Everybody know we start out the game with a Jacoby Morgan run, 7-yard run. Make the game 7-0 in the first quarter. Then both of the times it was pretty much one of those defensive battles, and what we seen with some coaching mishaps. Second quarter, you got we go up 14-0 with Seven McGee on a 3-yard swing pass from the backfield to make the score 14-0. Then Jeremy Johnson catch and score. He lunged into the end zone, stretched out like Stretch Armstrong to get that to get the ball over to the end zone, made that score 14-7. And again, Jacoby Morgan with with another 6-yard run to make the score 21-7. And then in the second half, you got Texas Southern trying to threaten the game. They scored in the third quarter on a Ja'Cory Howard 34-yard run. And then in the fourth quarter with 3 seconds left, Blanton with a 20-yard pass from Jace Wilson made it score 21-19. And they try to go for 2 in this game. They go for 2 in this game, and Jace Wilson gets intercepted in the back of the end zone by Tim Stewart. Ball game over. Now we get into these stats right here. Jace Wilson for Texas Southern, 15-28, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And Ladarius Owens with 106 yards on 21 carries. He didn't get a touchdown, but he kept the ball. He kept the chains moving, averaged 5 yards a carry. Ja'Cory Howard, 4 rushes for 80 yards and 1 touchdown. Basically, he averaged 20 yards a carry in this game, and that's the big back. And Jace Wilson with another 46 yards on the ground. Jaron Johnson and Quay Davis both had 5 receptions. Jaron Johnson with 55 yards through the air and 1 touchdown, with Quay Davis with 45 yards and no touchdowns. Basically, it was a long day for Texas Southern, but we had some issues with some coaching mishaps, and I'm glad that TC Taylor, Coach TC, had mentioned that it was a coaching mishap with sending 12 guys on the field, which kind of threw a whole monkey wrench into this, where the game it should have been won in the third quarter, but we had some misses in this game. On the side of Jackson State, Jacoby Morgan, 25-34, 182 yards, 1 touchdown, and the best thing about this, no interceptions, no turnovers in this game. J.D. Barton came back out again, 6 carries for 65 yards. Desmond Mochi, 14 carries for 57. just basically going into this game, this I did say this was a tale of two teams, and I said that this is a tale of two teams. This was Texas Southern's rush offense versus Jackson State run defense, and vice versa. It would have been vice versa. Both teams, Jackson State only gained 300 yards of total offense, while Texas Southern had 414 yards of total offense with 3 touchdowns. When you got over 400 yards of total offense, I think you should be able to win the game. I think you should be able to win the game. But as far as what we see, we did end up with 2 more interceptions in this game. One by Tim Stewart, the other one by True Thompson, the big D lineman coming in that transferred in from Florida State. He had a great game yesterday on the defensive line. I just think we had some missed opportunities in this game yesterday. I don't know if you watched this game yesterday, Mr. Ford, but
I saw some highlights. My thing right now is this it for McKinney? You are blue. Is this it for him, or what goes on here? Does he move on, or does he come back for another year? What?
I think he's gone.
What did Blue say about it too?
Blue didn't say nothing. Carlo, hold on. Carlo, you said, hey, do not think Texas Southern outplayed Jackson State? Offensively, yes. When you gain 400 yards, you gain 400 yards, and you made the game into the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, you outplayed us, but it didn't capitalize. And he said he think he's gone, and he's a Texas Southern lover.
Well, wait a minute. Jackson State's playing who next week? Are you off?
We got a bye week.
Okay. What about Alcorn? Are they off? Or they?
Nope. Alcorn got the same Texas Southern team this weekend.
In Lorman? Or they go out there? They go to Houston?
They go to Houston.
Okay.
Blue said basically he should have been gone, but I don't know why they're not making that move.
So he's saying he'll be back, or he thinks he'll
be gone.
Okay, he'll be gone. Yeah.
He said he don't know if they'll make that move. He said he should be gone, but he don't know if they'll make that move.
Because I'm saying for that East, for that West, Dooley. Of course, I'm thinking Dooley should be moved. McKinney should be moved. Who's the third person? Who I'm trying to think. Who would be the third person? And was it be Hugh? Because I just think Hugh needs a defensive staff.
Yeah, I think he needs a defensive staff. And I think Prairie View is in a good situation. I think they might need to change offensive play calling.
And don't forget a defense coordinator. They need a coordinator.
But let's check out these standings up in the SWAC, y'all, because this is going to turn. I've already said this. FAMU locked up. They locked up the East. 7-0 conference record right now. They're 8-1 in overall. They are the host. They will be the host team for the SWAC championship game. So now it all comes down to who in the West can get it done. Now, Alcorn is sitting at 5-1. All right. Alcorn's
in the West.
In the West.
In the West. Okay.
Alcorn's only loss in the West was to Prairie View. Prairie View has that tiebreaker. Let's just say Prairie View win. Let's just say this. Prairie View go in. They play Southern next week. They go to Baton Rouge. They play Southern next week. Okay, let's just say they win. They beat Southern. And then let's say they beat Alabama State. Let's just say that. Let's just say that, right? And let's just say Alcorn, because Alcorn has had problems with Texas Southern of late. All right. Alcorn, Texas Southern came into Alcorn last year running their homecoming.
Right. Yeah.
Now, let's just say Alcorn laid a goose egg against Texas Southern. Prairie View and Alcorn are tied, but because Prairie View has the tiebreaker, they won against Alcorn. They have the tiebreaker. Now, Prairie View's only other loss in the two losses that Prairie View has in the conference are to Grambling, because they lost the State Fair Classic, and this is in the West, so the only other loss that they have is to FAMU.
Right.
They consider that that's a conference game right there.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. It's just that loss to Grambling kind of hurts them, but they, like I said, they still have the win against Alcorn. Let's see. Let's go into Southern, because Southern is still in the hunt, right? All right. So they got Southern. I mean, they got Prairie View, and then of course they got Grambling for the Bayou Classic. The only two losses that Southern has in conference play are to Alcorn and to
FAMU.
FAMU. Alabama State and Jackson State was a darn conference because we rolled out their schedule.
Right.
All right. So now basically they lost two games to FAMU and to Alcorn. This is for third place, for second place, really. And your de facto West Championship game is going to be Alcorn versus whoever comes out. You can't forget about Grambling. The only, I'm gonna say you can't forget about Grambling, but I don't think Alcorn will lose the last two games. I mean, I don't think they'll lose both games. They'll lose one game. I think they'll lose against Jackson State because it's a rival game. But I think they beat Texas Southern. So yeah, this is Jackson. Thank you, sir. If Alcorn loses to Jackson State, Alcorn loses to Jackson State, or Alcorn lose to Texas Southern, they are out, and Prairie View, they keep winning. Prairie View represents the West, and it's one of them things where it sounds confusing, but it sounds confusing, but that's how it is when it comes down to it. But like I said, you still got Southern in this thing. I mean, you can kind of put Grambling up in here, but I think they're done after that last game what we saw yesterday against Alabama State. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be very honest with y'all. I don't see Prairie View going to the SWAC championship game.
I agree.
I do not see them going to.
I agree.
Do I really want to see that rematch again? If I'm FAMU, if I'm FAMU, I want to see that rematch. I want to get that rematch again against Prairie View. Because in a sense, I really don't want to think. I really think that FAMU wants to see this Alcorn team.
Well, I'm thinking, maybe I'm thinking ahead. I think it's FAM and Alcorn. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see Prairie View beating Alabama State. They might beat them, but I don't see it.
Yeah, they don't beat Alabama State, and then they got one. They don't lose. They lose to Southern. Yeah, that season's over with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I think Southern's season's over with too. I really
Yeah,
do.
Southern season's over with to me because I think when they get into that Bayou Classic, I think Grambling is gonna do a number on them.
And I think that the Southern alums need to have a meeting down there in New Orleans and make it clear that Dooley is out. After the Bayou Classic, thank you for your services, but we moving on. Please. Because I'm telling you, come in with that foolishness talking about giving him another year, it ain't going to get no better. Go ahead on and make that move.
Israel, the Texas Southern Alcorn game is gonna be in Houston. We're gonna be in Houston over at the Shell.
Yeah. It, like you said, it's gonna be a bang for a closeout. We got some big games still left. It's gonna be. I'm just saying. To me and that in the West, that premier team is Alcorn. That's the team to keep up with. Now you saying they beat Texas Southern and they beat and they lose to Jackson? I'm gonna have to disagree. Right now, for what I see, they win them last two. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because right now, with that offense coordinator and that play calling that they're doing at Alcorn, going against Jonathan Bradley, y'all got problems.
I mean, but they both play the same style defense, but man, that crackhead defense for Alcorn is something else. It's like I don't know. They beat Southern up in that game yesterday.
Yeah, like I said, they ain't that big time dominant SWAC defensive team you used to, but they opportunistic. They always looking to they always looking for an interception, or they looking for some kind of fumble or some kind of takeaway. That's the difference. That's the difference. The guy, Cedric, I think it's Cedric Thomas, he and his staff are doing a good job over at Alcorn.
Yeah.
They doing a good job. And then, like I said, now they got the guy play calling this. I mean, some people are saying that this is Jason, was it Jason Allen? Is somebody was telling me, because they know it's Jason Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they said this is the guy that's doing the play call. Well, all I got to say is he's doing a good job. Because like I said, every game I'm seeing, I'm not watching the entire game because there's so many games on, but I see them getting better every week.
Yeah. It's one of them. This is a season in the SWAC where it's one of those seasons where on one side it was to be expected, but on the other side it's so unexpected. It's to the point where it's like, man, do I really is this really happening? Like, we got all these teams right here that's trying to get to the championship game. Two of those teams, if they even get to that championship game, they'll lose by at least 40. And one of the teams, if they get down there, they'll make that game close. And I like I said, if I'm FAMU, I'll be rooting for Prairie View because that would be an easier win for you. You'll breeze through. But if you want to get that Alcorn team, if you really want to get that team with Fred, now I'm gonna be real with you. For FAMU, hey, this your first SWAC championship right here. Your first division title that you got. You hosting the SWAC championship game. But to be real, if Big Fred get down there to that SWAC championship game, he don't lose. That man doesn't. Am I right or not, Mr. Ford? He don't lose.
Well, like I told you, I can't pull against Fam and Bragg.
He can't pull against Fam and Bragg.
Fam has what, a six? What is that winning streak now? Is it 16? 17 games. No, I can't pull against Fam and Bragg because I know how them people gonna come out.
But I'm just saying, Fred McNair does not lose in championship games. He don't.
Yeah, but listen, Doc, I can't see him going in Tallahassee beating. The other thing is, I think that Fam depth is going to come in. Alcorn doesn't have the depth Fam has. Fam has a lot of depth, offensively and defensively. I think that will make a statement too. In other words, they can interchange people. Fam can play 20 people on defense.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Listen, let me go.
Got
Just
that
want to
call.
let you come in. Have a good one here.
All right.
Okay.
If it's Ford got that call, he said he got to go. But anyway, man, look, the last thing I want to talk about is I was on Twitter, and last night I was coming in from work, and I'm looking on Twitter, and I'm like, the game was still on between Oregon State and Colorado. And this is Colorado's homecoming, y'all. Looking at the game, looking at the stats, that is a pitiful job that they're doing up there in Boulder, y'all. And I'm talking about this. It was crazy to the point where everybody on Twitter, Tamona, Miss Whitley, all like, hey man, y'all need to take 2 out the game. Y'all need to take 2 out of the game. Y'all need to take Shadur out of the game. That boy would get beat up last night. That boy was getting beat up, straight beat up last night. Oregon State sacked him 4 more times yesterday. So he has been sacked more times this season alone than what he had got sacked his freshman year at Jackson State. What I'm talking about, they beat that boy to the point. They beat up that boy to the point where he is taking painkillers. He is taking painkillers. And y'all know when you take painkillers, you can't get addicted to that stuff. Toradol, all that stuff. Taking painkillers so he can get out on the field. It's sad to see that one of the shit, I ain't gonna lie to you, one of the best quarterbacks in the SWAC in the last 20 years is up and ball. He balling in Colorado. I give him his numbers say a lot, but you gotta have some sort of heart, like for him to be getting beat up like that. Your offensive line is terrible. I looked at a play on one of the plays. Shout out to the other Doc Holliday that's from Memphis. He pointed out on the video where the tight end whipped on the block. The left end came around the corner and pretty much put Shadur on his backside, getting up, limping. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I'm Shadur, I don't care what my daddy say. Talking about you're not going to the draft. After this season, I'm leaving. I'm leaving after this season. I don't care what my daddy say. I'm leaving. I'm not about to sit here and take all this punishment. And then if you don't improve the offensive line for next season and you go into the Big 12 with that stuff, bro, I'm leaving. I'm gonna put on that. I'm gonna put on that Gladys Knight of the Pips. I'm leaving on the midnight train, not to Georgia, but to New York to shake Roger Goodell's hand, or wherever they're gonna host the draft at for next for next year. And and I understand Shadur is so dedicated. Shadur is his daddy. You know, I understand that, but as a father, and you see, even though you're the head coach, but as a father, you seeing your son out there beat to getting beat to sleep, like he's on his backside, like every other damn play. Like on the real, you got to do something about that. You got to do something about that. And then another thing too, Shadur does hold on to the ball a lot. That's another thing he has to work on. But you said, I mean, understand Toradol ain't as addictive to being on there, but it has one of those ingredients where it has to where you take it a lot, you get addicted to it. You can have organ failure, renal failure. That's what happened to Marcellus Wiley. He told a story about when he took so much Toradol during his playing career in the NFL that Max Kellerman had to take him to the hospital. Of course, Percocet and hydrocodone, yeah, that's addictive because that's more again that high, but that Toradol, man, that shot. I wouldn't mess with it. I mean, but Mr. Campbell though, Mr. Campbell, come on, me and you, he making low first round NFL money right now with the NIL deal. I understand that, so. But the thing about it is, you getting beat up. You gonna be black and blue before you even get into the NFL. By the time you go shake Roger Goodell's hand on the podium at the draft, you're gonna be walking on crutches. You're gonna have a limp. But it's just the fact that we see him, man, and he's a baller, he's a gamer, but you gotta protect your asset. And that's your asset right there. That is a pure asset right there. I mean, it's just the fact that big dog. It's just the fact that Shadur is getting out there, is getting beat up out there. 45 sacks on the season. It's only 9 games, and they got 3 games left on the docket on the schedule. And it doesn't get better. I think one of the games they might be able to pull one off against Washington State. Washington State has regressed. They just played Oregon State yesterday. They got Arizona next week. Arizona is looking real good, and then the last game of the season is against Utah. And you know, in that game, Utah plays is a Pac-12 team that has a SEC type defense. Yes, I said 40 plus sacks. Shadur has been sacked 45 times. That's counting yesterday. It's 9 games into the season. And they still got 3 games left. It's basically him getting beat up like that. And I understand it's football. It's football. And it's one of the things where you cannot go into the portal and just pick you up an offensive line and not try to develop them. And if you just throwing them out there, and Blue, you played offensive line before, you have to have some sort of continuity on on that line. One person mess up, the whole line mess up. It's like if you was pledging. It's just like if you was pledging. And he gonna blame his dad. Like, look, daddy, hey, you don't want to be taking all this medicine and give me shots right here. You got to do something. You got to do better. Give me an offensive line or something. You got to develop it. And it's no quick fix for the offensive line. And he also has, like I said, he also has to get better with having having the ball in his hand for too long. You got to throw it away. If you don't throw it away, hey, you're just gonna get sacked. Stop trying to look for the big play. Throw the ball away. Throw the ball away. That's what you need to do. Throw the ball away. Blue said this yesterday, earlier. He said he's upset that Tennessee State lost to Charleston Southern. That kind of threw a monkey wrench into the whole plans of Tennessee State going into trying to get a bid into the playoffs. But they do have 2 games left in the season. Against Eastern Illinois, and then they got Tennessee Tech at the end. Hopefully they'll be able to get 8-3 should be 8-3. Should it get them a bid into the playoff? I see UT Martin, they lost yesterday. No, they lost last week to Gardner Webb. So they got 1 loss on the schedule. Of course, I think they do they play SEMO? They play SEMO next week. And then they got Sanford at the end of the season. I don't know. Tennessee State can win like I said, they can win the last 2 games. They could end up being 4-2 in the conference. Will this be enough to get them a bid into the playoffs? We don't know. We don't know. Let's see, UT Martin, like I said, they got Timo and then they got Sanford. So it's one of them things where we don't know what's going to happen. Gardner Webb is coming on hot. Of course, Timo is coming up. Simo took a huge loss to Robert Morris, and I want to say huge not as by score wise. By how much they lost by, but just to hoop. Losing to Robert Morris 21-20, that does not look good for Simo. In Eastern Illinois, you got Bryan and then Charleston Southern and Tennessee State, all with records of 2-2 in the conference. We shall see. And then on the other independent route, we got in the CAA. We got Hampton. They went up to Maine, took on the Maine Black Bears. Hampton wins this game 42-35. That puts their record at 5-4. That also puts them above 500 and puts them up at 500 in the conference at 3-3. While on the other end, it was the greatest homecoming on earth yesterday at North Carolina A&T, but Towson came in and ruined it with a 42-32 victory over A&T. I will say this: A&T did score. They did pass for over 100 yards again in this game. In fact, they had almost 460 yards of total offense, but they still could not get it done against Towson. It puts A&T at 1-8 in the in overall and 0-6 in the conference. By far, this is going to be one of the worst seasons for North Carolina A&T in the last 30 years, to be exact. Last two games on the season, they do have Rhode Island. They play at Rhode Island, and then Campbell comes to Greensboro for the last game of the season. I don't think they win either game. But look, man, it's a wild and wacky season for HBCU football. I'm gonna just say y'all that it's a wild and wacky season for HBCU football. But we'll be back on this thing. We'll be back on this thing tomorrow. Won't be on here on Tuesday. So tomorrow I will do my top 10 tomorrow. Tuesday, I'm not doing a show because why? It is General Election Day tomorrow. And for the folks in Mississippi, get your ass out there and vote out tater tot. But as always, man, look, it's a good thing for y'all. Grace, bless me on this good Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. For the folks that's watching on the West Coast on Mountain Time, good morning. For the folks watching on the East Coast and right now in Central, good afternoon. Everybody got that good extra hour of sleep last night. On Wednesday, you said a couple of JSU with basketball on Wednesday. Depending on what time I get off. But if it's not Wednesday, I will cover them on Thursday. That is a good promise on that. I'll cover them on Thursday. So we get it all Jack State. We get all the, for all the SWAC to cover everybody as far as SWAC, MEAC, for basketball and stuff like that. You want me to cover the election on Tuesday? Okay. So that means I'm gonna have to pull up my CNN because I don't think we have any elections, and not too many elections here in the state of Texas right now. But if we did, go out. We'd be out there to go vote. I'll go vote anyway. But I have a top 10 live tomorrow evening. We'll start that thing at 7:00. 7:00 Central. 7:00 Central. So everybody get ready. Tell me who you think is going to be the new number one in all the HBCU football. Who is going to be number one in Division I HBCU football? Find out tomorrow, 7:00 p.m. Make sure you tell a friend. Also, make sure you hit the cash app, y'all. Let's get this thing going. We're gonna try to get me down there, man. We trying to get down to Tallahassee. We're trying to raise $1,200 to get down to Tallahassee. Make sure you hit the cash app, and also on the bottom you can see we got the Zelle and also the PayPal if you feel like doing it on there. And if not, you can always use the super chat, and you can use the super chat right now. All proceeds will go towards funding of the trip, y'all. But as always, man, I appreciate everybody for watching the show, everybody watching the stream. This has been the weekend recap brought to you by We work for everything.org. Make sure if you go check out their website, get your long sleeve hoodies going on, get your long sleeve shirts, get your t-shirts, get anything that they got going on. This business is black owned, coming from New York. Good brother that he does a lot of deals with some of the college athletes. So make sure y'all check him out. Check him out. We work for everything.org. So basically, this is the weekend recap. I'm your boy Doc Holiday, your host, curator, the owner, the prime, the sole proprietor of HBCU Overdrive. I'm the voice of HBCU culture, and this is where HBCUs matter. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you comment, share, most of all, subscribe. Hit the notification bell to get everything HBCU Overdrive. We'll be back on this thing tomorrow at 7 o'clock p.m. Make sure you come in suited and booted. What up, Blitz City? We got my boy Kobe up in here. Hey, if you can, man, come on up here, bro. Cause I want to talk to me about what you think about yesterday in South Carolina State. I'm gonna send the link up to you right now. I let him know. Hey, come on up, Kobe, for a second before we roll up out of here, man. Shout out to the former governor of Virginia, Douglas Wilder. He was in the building yesterday for the Doug Wilder Classic between Virginia State and Virginia Union. Got my boy Kobe up in here. What's going on, man?
What's up, broski?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. So tell me about your experience yesterday with South Carolina State and the homecoming, man.
Man, this was the best homecoming in a long time, bruh. Oh my God. So I mean, homecoming in itself, not even talking about the game, it's always lit. But this year, man, we had 20,000 in the stadium, probably 20 outside. Like it was just deep. We was deep out there, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, I wish we could have this every home game. Like it was just beautiful to see. Everybody came back, the Q's dancing in the end zone. Like, man, it was just lit, bro. It was just great vibes, great food and everything. As for the game, ain't nobody thought we had a chance, So imagine my surprise, man, when Jawan Howell went off on Howard like that. Like a dog, bro. Like a freshman, man. We talk about a true freshman, damn near hitting 300 yards for 3 touchdowns. Like, man. Oh my God.
He about to have 1,000 yards for the season too. I see it coming too. He's gonna have 1,000 yards for the season, and this is one of them players that you don't want to put. He do not want to be going to the transfer portal. None of them players that y'all got, the freshmen that you had, don't need to go to that transfer portal. But so we got AD Campbell. She resigned last week, and then they made Buddy Q the interim AD. So he's in charge of hiring the new head football coach. Who do you think should be the coach at South Carolina State for next season?
Chennis Berry. That needs to be. Here's the thing, right? Because I can't really say much. From what I hear from people inside the program, they wouldn't mind a big name. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But Chennis Berry, and I wouldn't mind a big name either, but Chennis Berry is the guy, bro. Like we need to put all our resources into taking this man from Columbia to Orangeburg, which ain't a far drive. If we got more money, give it to. We saw what he did with Benedict. Wasn't winning nothing for a long time, and he came in and turned that program around. Could you imagine what he could do for us? Could you imagine? He's gonna bring some of those transfers with him to Orangeburg.
Yeah.
All right. He got the running back room already.
Yep.
He get us a quarterback, get us a defense. Come on, man. We in there. Chinisberry is the only answer. That man is a player's coach. He knows what he's doing. He's a guy who players would run through a brick wall for. I don't understand why we not even putting resources into him. I want Chinisberry as the next head coach, man. He's perfect.
Yeah, because please do not bring that man to the SWAC. No. No, do not bring that man to the SWAC.
I heard Southern might be looking at him too. I ain't lying.
Man, you get that man in the SWAC, boy, it's gonna be over with. I don't think nobody would, just the way that he coaches, I don't think nobody would actually beat him. And he, like I said, he's gonna bring the transfers with him from Benedict because he's been doing it, and he's doing it for he's been there for 3 years, and he's turning around. And this is second year end of the season at 10-0, being undefeated. So hopefully he'll get a better season than playoff come around, and then I hope they make it more. I hope they make it further than what they did last season. In the second round.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
But yeah, man, I do not want to see that man in the SWAC. Man, keep him in the keep him on the East Coast. Keep him in the MEAC. Maybe he can challenge Trey Oliver at Central, man.
Man, listen, bro. When I heard Southern could possibly be trying to get him in the offseason, I got so mad, bro. I'm telling people bro, we better keep this man in South Carolina, man. I'm not trying to see him go to Southern, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Whatever Dooley not doing up there, he need to get it together.
Well, his team got punked yesterday. They got straight up. They got Debo'd yesterday by Alcorn. I've never seen Southern get beat up. I've never seen Southern get punked like that. Never. All the years I've been watching SWAC football, going to the game, watching on TV, I've never seen Southern get beat up like that. I've never seen it. And
that was that was so crazy.
I'm not gonna lie to you. They got Debo yesterday, and Dooley don't get it done, he gone. I think if Clarence McKinney, I think he out of there. I think you haven't beaten your rival, Prairie View. Now you got a chance last season to beat Alcorn. You had a chance to beat Southern. But haven't done it against Jackson State. Beating those teams right there, you got to be able to beat them. But I think he's gone after this season.
Yeah, man. I hate to say it because I thought he would be a really good match, for Southern, but it's just proven not. And Southern has every right to get rid of him after this season, man. They're a great program, and honestly, I feel like they're always on the cusp of winning something. They always have the talent to win something, but they always fall short. And I get it. They frustrated and they tired of it, man. They want to get over that hump. So yeah, I get it. Get rid of them. Got to.
And then with Jackson State, who in their right mind, other in Jackson State football history, other than Robbie Hill, has started off a season with a winning record? I'll wait.
Oh, they still mad at TC?
Most people gonna be mad at TC, but you know what I'm saying? TC doing what he gotta do.
They don't stop, bro. What head coach coming out in a rebuilding year after losing 60 players and going 7-3? Bro, be for real.
Right.
What are you complaining about? You know how many teams with a first year head coach after losing as much players as y'all did? Do you know how many teams would love to have a 7-3 record in a rebuilding year?
Mm-hmm.
And we mad, bro. Chill out. That's unrealistic expectations, man. You mad because he barely pulling these games out? You knew it was gonna be stepping stones throughout the season. You knew it was gonna be times like. Matter of fact, do we forget in Prime's first full season, in his first year with the full season at Jackson State, we forget the Delta State game?
I didn't forget that.
We forgot about that.
We forgot about the ULM game we lost. That's the only game we lost in the regular season. Our offensive line was terrible. We didn't have a running game. The defense kept us into the game. All Shadur had to do was just make sure that we don't lose the game. But when it comes down to it, 7-3, or even finish the season 8-3 is monumental. Like if we would have finished the season at 9-2 and got some sort of bid into the playoffs, that would be a success. That would be another successful season too.
Right.
And just think about this: the 3 losses that we have, right? 2 of those losses was close. And people would say, well, the FAMU loss was about 18 points. But you got to understand, second half, we shut you out. We shut FAMU out in the second half.
FAMU was literally scoreless in the second half. The majority of those points or that momentum came from special teams play.
Yep.
Offensively, they really weren't that much of a threat. Like, so it's all about perspective, and just really breaking it down and looking deeper into it. And plus, I mean, this was 2 years in the making of just having motivation to beat y'all and them having to get an ungodly amount of talented wide receivers to be able to compete with y'all. Like, it's context. Everything is about context. As far as Texas State goes, this is the team that upset Baylor earlier in the year. This team is loaded. That's an FBS. That's an FBS squad. I wouldn't even. I don't care about that, right? I don't care. Alabama
State was just a hiccup because we gave up. We turned the ball over 5 times.
Bro,
can't fumble, and you can't fumble the ball 5 times, bro. You got to take care of it. You got to take better care of the football. And so with those losses right there, like I said, granted, one was to an FBS team, and we got ran out of the building after the second quarter. But like I said, we hung in with that team all the way up until like 8 minutes in the second quarter, and then after that, they just ran off. They went straight ham on us. You know what I'm saying? Like they went 49 points straight. They did not have a let up in that game. And people say, well, y'all lost by 43 points. I'm like, yeah, we put 34 up on them. I mean, if it was the case, they could have hung 80 on us. They would have hung 80 on us if we went out to stop them. But I mean, it is what it is. And then going into the game, like we don't know, everybody's expecting us to just go in and blow folks out, and we can't. It's not how football is. Like I'd rather have a close game than to be blowing everybody out, because then to me there's no competition. Like people say we should have lost to Bethune-Cookman, but that was their own thing. And the best thing about it is we had Herb Mulligan, and he gave us 166 yards in that game.
Some damn shit of loss, man. Listen, we found a way to. If you found a way to pull out the win, ain't no shit of loss.
Right. So, but for him to have a season at 7-3, and then we go into our rival game in 2 weeks against Alcorn, and we both have something to play for. We have to play for 8-3. They got to play for if they could get their ass to the SWAC championship game. So it's a lot for both teams to play for. I mean, and then hey, you never know. We don't know what's gonna happen. You never know. The NCAA committee say, hey man, this team might look good. Let's bring them in. As far as a bid to the playoff, we don't know. We don't know. But this is to finish the season at 8-3. This will be a good recruiting tool, and he's already been hitting the recruiting trail from the get go. So that's all I got to say about that. And then
I do think FAMU will end up in Atlanta though. I do think they'll get that far. I don't think they're gonna slip up right now.
Yeah, I think they'll get that far, but do I really want to see them play North Carolina ain't Central at their best right now. Cause oh man, I don't know, man.
You know, everything on paper tells us that this should be a high scoring matchup.
Nah, I don't see it.
Everything on paper says it, but no, you just don't know how it's gonna go.
Right. And then my last thing, we was just talking about Shadur getting sacked another 4 times last night.
Oh my
He
God.
was out there limping and hurting. Like, bro is hurt. He is injured. I was on Coach Hayes last night. He said there's a difference between injured and being hurt. If you hurt, you out there. If you injured, you go out there, you limping and something like hanging off of, like you are injured. Shadur is injured. When you gotta take painkillers to go out there to play the game that you love, you are injured. And if
he took painkillers,
bro, he took, of course, you taking Toradol. Toradol is painkiller. Like you got like, because it feels me. It feels me. I've done a lot in 3 years at 2 different schools that nobody can say that I have never done. I went from FBS, I went from FCS, HBCU school, dominated the whole conference, and for 2 years jumped to the FBS. My numbers haven't dropped off, but I'm getting beat up all the time.
Right.
I'm going into the draft next season. I don't care what you say, Daddy. I'm going to the draft next season. If I am Pilar, I am on the first thing. I'm on the first flight smoking to Boulder.
But you know Shadur ain't gonna do that though.
Nah, he ain't gonna do that.
He ain't gonna go against his dad like that. But nah, I agree with you. Because especially he's not going. How much better are you going to get that line in a year?
You not.
Truly, because every offensive lineman that comes through that transfer portal is in that portal for a reason. Good offensive linemen don't leave the schools that they at.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So how much better can you get the protection for me, really? And I really do feel bad for him, man. And if it's me, I was debating like, should they shut Shadur down for the rest of the season? But at the same time,
I think they should. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you.
The only reason why they won't, the only reason why I feel like they won't is because they just need 2 more wins to get to a bowl game. And we all know if they get them 6 wins, somebody gonna put Colorado in a bowl game because that's money. I don't care how small the bowl game is, they gonna put Colorado in it, and people gonna watch it. That's money.
I don't think they will get them last 2 wins, bro.
Oh no, me either. But because they got a chance, they gonna play
the Arizona game. I'm looking at that. I know that the backup played this past weekend, and Jada Delara didn't even play for the last couple of weeks. Then you got Washington State with Cam Ward. Now that would be a shootout right there.
Washington State. Oh my God.
And they're playing in Pullman, so they ain't in Boulder. This in Pullman, Washington. You up there in the country. And then the last game is against Utah in Boulder. And Utah is playing a 3rd string walk-on.
Even with that walk-on, they not beating Utah.
Not beating Utah.
They not beating Utah. As a matter of fact, Utah is literally missing just that one piece. And we talking about them having a whole different season this year. Nah, they not beating Utah.
No. Like, really, and Mr. Campbell, they ain't beating Arizona. Arizona has improved tremendously from last season to this season. They're not beating Arizona. They in a sense, they have lived up to that. They have met their expectation. They did. They improved from 1 win to 4 wins right now. If they get 5, that's a better improvement. 6 wins in a bowl game is a great improvement.
The fact that they're not bowl eligible right now is on them because you gave up that lead to Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you've been in plenty close games this season. The fact that they ain't at 6 wins is on them. Like, shut that boy down.
They could have beat USC. What was their first loss? That the Oregon game. Oh,
yeah, that was the only one.
They got ran out the stadium. They got ran out the stadium in an Oregon game. Oregon State defense just beat them up. UCLA defense just beat them up. It's just one of them games where it's just one of them seasons. Like, man, you want to see them do good. We want to see our former players from our HBCUs, that's that Colorado do good. But dang, man, the main person that's taking the price for everything is Shadur.
Right. And I credit that boy so much because if this season went a whole different way, his draft stock could have plummeted. But man, he played some damn good football this year. I give him that, regardless of how his team is.
Right, and see, I'm just and see that schedule was so much favor for them to win at least 6 games, because if they would have played Washington this season, it'd have been a wrap.
Oh yeah, that was
Mike Penny's going for 500 in that game, not beating Washington. And if they were playing Washington in Seattle, they definitely not beating them there.
No, that would have been done. They would have been done for.
Like you like they really looked up on that schedule. Like, you got Washington State instead of Washington, bro. You dodged the big old bullet. And then the USC game was, people say they should not win a game, but they were gonna lose the game anyway. But for USC to even have it in their game that close, man.
USC is under a Lincoln Riley team will never have good defense. And people just got to understand that. So as long as you got a suitable offense, you can go in the shootout with USC. You just got to make the pivotal stop.
Yep, I agree with you on that one. But yeah, man, we gonna get up on out of here. I'm gonna have to get back on FBS Fridays with you, bro.
Oh, for sure. Just let me know, bro. Just let me know.
All right. I'm gonna see what my schedule look like for next week for my work schedule and stuff. And I'm gonna have to. I've been working on this camera too. I got a new camera, bro. So I'm just trying to get in some shots and stuff.
Hey, man, it's fun, dog. You got to.
So that's the reason why we trying to get me down. We trying to get us down to FAMU to Tallahassee for the SWAC championship game, so we can take some good old stuff, some good photos and videos and stuff. So I've been trying to raise money to get on that.
I want to go to that game too. I should see what it's looking like. I should see if I can get a pass out there.
Oh yeah. I think Blue say I know Blue gonna be out there.
Oh, he got to.
I know Blue gonna be out there. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for jumping on for a second, man. I'm gonna get up on out of here, so I gotta get ready for work in a little bit, y'all. Y'all check my boy Kobe out. When your next live show?
My next live gonna be Friday for FBS Friday, but
FBS
I already got a couple videos up.
Oh, okay.
From
so
the,
you got the video.
Yeah,
make sure you check them out on. Like that. Yeah, make sure you check them out on Instagram. Kobe 101. Check them out on Twitter. Make sure South Carolina State win, so you won't have to turn off that damn fireplace again. Man, your face was bad, bro, during last weekend. Your face was hard. He was like, man, I put out an APB on you, bro.
Man, I don't even know I ain't even know how to describe that loss in North Carolina Central, dog. I don't know what happened. I took it on the chin though. You know, I knew the jokes was coming. I had to take it on the chin. It was all right.
All right, man. All right, holla at you later, bro.
All right, broski.
Mm-hmm. And just for that, man, we gonna end this live just right here. I'm just gonna end it just like this. Be blessed. Stay safe. Hug your loved ones. You're here today, and they stay gone. Gonna leave out here with some good old victory music. Peace.
We start this battle with our staple theme song, Get Ready, featuring the incomparable J5 drum majors and the prancing J7.